Hello everyone, it's Maria here from pepperlyrose.blogspot.com.au. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to share with you a project that was suggested to me by one of my viewers, and it's for Kathy. And Kathy, I couldn't thank you enough for this suggestion. This is a wonderful suggestion. And I'm going to do this for you today. And it's basically a mini desktop calendar that can sit up on the desk. There are quite a few projects around on the internet for this kind of thing. I'm using a variation of a lot of things that I've seen, but this is to specifically cater for a desk calendar size. So I've got the measurements here. I don't actually have the calendar, but Kathy was very kind to provide me the dimensions so that I can create a project around this size. So we'll pretend this is a 2018 calendar, and the size of the calendar is 2 7/8 by 1 13/16 or 7.4 centimetres by 4.7 centimetres. So that is the size of the calendar that we're looking at. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a project around this size of the calendar. I don't have the calendar in question. However, feel free to use what I'll be showing you today for your own project. So Kathy, thanks so much for this suggestion. I hope you find this helpful. And she also requested that I use the Coffee Cafe bundle. So I'll do my own take on it, but everyone feel free to, mix it up and make it your own. It's completely up to you. So we'll get started on the project and I'll show you everything as we go along. So today's project, I'm going to be using a Blushing Bride piece of cardstock, and that will measure, let's see, I've got my measurements here, 10.5 centimetres across by 29.6, or in imperial, 11 11/16 by 4 1/8. Now I have done a prototype using just copy paper. So this is just some scrap copy paper I've got around. It's going to look like this. So imagine that this has been glued on, which is what we'll see shortly, right? So it'll be glued on like that. So it'll look like that. So it will actually sit on your desk, okay? And then you can actually fold it down. So this is how it's going to look. So I'll show you how we're going to score this. It's really quite simple. So we'll just grab our Simply Scored scoring tool and we will add our Blushing Bride piece of cardstock on here on the long side. So you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 7/8, 3 1/4, then at 7 1/2, okay? And that is all the scoring you'll need. So it's 1/2, 1 7/8, 3 1/4, and 7 1/2 inches across, okay? So with the scoring, I'm doing that in inches. And yeah, I don't know the measurements for the the metrics, so just, I don't know, just go with the flow on that one. All right, so to fold this up, we're going to grab our bone folder. So on the 1/2 inch, we're going to fold up like that. So it becomes like a valley fold. With this one here, we're going to fold it like a mountain. So we're going to go like that. Okay? So we'll burnish that with our bone folder. Then, with this one, we're going to do a valley fold. So we're folding it in. So we'll just score that. Okay? And then, this will then fold, okay, in. Okay? And then we just burnish that score line. So as you can see already, it is coming up like that. So again, feel free to use the colours that you're comfortable with. And then when it folds down, it will be like that. So I'll just burnish that again. Make sure it's all nice and flush. Okay, so that's how it is. So really, really simple. Okay, so before I do anything like like that. I will not put any adhesive on there just yet. So as this is like this, I'm going to add some Coffee Break Designer Series paper, and I'm using the one that has all those coffee stain rings on here, and I'm just going to put that right there. So I'm just going to grab my fast fuse and I will just put it on there. Again, feel free to change this up. So what I'm doing is, this is the back part where it will have like a seam, and this will be the front part, the one that's just simply folded down. So I'm just going to now position my DSP like, just see actually how I'm going to do it, like, yeah, like this. And I don't mind that it's showing quite a bit of colour. That looks nice. So then what will happen is when you put the calendar, I don't have the calendar to put on there, but it will look like that. So the calendar, then you just put adhesive on the back and just stick it right there. So we'll leave that to the side for one moment. And what we're going to grab is I've got some scrap pieces of Whisper White, and I'll be using this image here, that image there, the lid. That, I love that wood grain coffee cup there. We're using the coffee beans, and we're going to use the sentiment, happiness is a cup of coffee shared with a friend, but I'm going to mask that bottom part, and I'm just going to say happiness is a cup of coffee. Okay, so we'll just get started on all the stamping. This is a very, very simple project, so I'll just grab that wood grain coffee cup, ink it up well, beautiful, and I'll just grab my Whisper White piece. As you've seen, I'm just using scraps, so we'll just cut that out here. Make sure I stamp that really, really well. Okay, and that's stamped really perfect. I love that. The next I'm going to grab is my Early Espresso ink. I'm going to stamp the lid. As you can see, that's the lid. I'm going to stamp that in Early Espresso. So I'm going to do that here. And I hold it down because it's a solid image. Okay, and that's stamped absolutely perfectly. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment, happiness is a cup of coffee. So I'm just going to ink up that part of the stamp. I'm not going to ink up the rest of it. And if there's any ink, I'm just going to wipe that off the other stamp, the other part of the stamp. And I'm just going to stamp that down the bottom here. I'm just going to hold it down for a few seconds just to make sure that the ink transfers. Okay, and that's how that turned out. That's perfect. And I'm just going to get those gorgeous little coffee beans, and I'm just going to stamp. I may not need this scrap piece of cardstock. I'm just showing a simple version. You feel free to change it up any way you wish. This is just to let my my friend Kathy there have an idea of how to make one for herself. I'm going to stamp 3 just for good measure, because I don't like the way that one inked up. So I'll just grab an area that I could use. So I'll use this one here, there. It should be okay. Okay, so I stamped some coffee beans and that. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll bring up my Big Shot, and we're going to be using our magnetic platform today. So I'll just grab that. So it's a magnetic platform with a cutting plate. I'll put my my stuff there, and I'll just grab my coffee cup framelit dies. These are fabulous. So I'll just put that there. So you've got to work with the magnets. You can't push it. Okay, and then we'll grab this smaller of the coffee cups there. Line it up as best we can. Oh, here we go again. Hate it when the magnets just do their own thing. And just line it up. Okay, I'll grab my little coffee bean bits here. Get off. All right, now just pop that there, and I'll just put my cutting plate on top. Oops. Mine's warped, so I've got to put it in as a way that it doesn't move my other framelits that are on there. Okay, so that's cut through. Whoops. Whoop. There goes my framelit. I'm just going to pick it up off the floor. Okay. Okay, let's see how that turned out. So that's the lid. That's the gorgeous little cup. Isn't that cute? Love my little coffee beans. And now I'll just cut the other ones out. And along with that, I'm actually going to use this bit here, which is like the little label or the, I don't know what you call it, but we're going to use that too, to cut out that happiness is a cup of coffee. Alrighty, now we're going to crank that through the big shot. And as I said, this is a very simplified version of what you can do yourselves at home. So please feel free to change it up as you see fit. Oh, there goes my coffee beans. Cute. And there's my sentiment, happiness is a cup of coffee. So I think that's it with our die cutting. So I'll pop that to the side. I'll put my framelits away. I think it's a good idea that once you use your framelits, you put them back to ensure that you get, you don't lose any of it, because I'd hate to lose these. These are gorgeous. Okay. This is, you know, as I said, this is a very simplified version of what you can do at home. So, okay. So I'll grab now my calendar base here. This is just for positioning. So just imagine that that is just a 2018 calendar there. Oh, I've got some glue down here. It's going to stick to everything. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm going to grab my coffee cup and I'm just going to use that for positioning. So I'll just add a little bit of glue. So I'm just adding some liquid glue right on that edge there. And I'm just going to add the lid, the coffee lid, right on top. So I'm just piecing it together so it looks like a cute little cup of coffee right there. Okay, so we can stick that there. And then with this happiness is a cup of coffee, you can put that on top there. I think that looks great. So I will add, I think I'll glue that down. Oops, too much glue. You can use your Tombow. It's the same as PVA glue, I'd say, but Tombow dries a lot faster. Not as cumbersome to use as that glue, but because I bought so many on special, I have to use them up. And then once I've done that, then I will go back to Tombow. So that's my happiness is a cup of coffee. And I've got some coffee beans that I can add just for fun. So we'll just say there's our calendar. So with that one, I'm just going to use dimensionals so I can stick that up there. And take off the backings. And again, for placement, I'm just going to... Oh, before I stick that down, doll, I'm going to actually put some fast fuse just along that little strip there. Fast fuse is great. It's really, really strong. So now all you have to do is just fold that down, fold this over the top, and your calendar is now done with that. Isn't that great? So now I'm just going to put my coffee cup here. So I'll just put my calendar there just for placement. I'll make the coffee cup go that way. And then I'm going to stick down some coffee beans there, and I'd say here as well. Okay, so I'll just get some glue and I'll stick down the coffee beans. Stick that down there. And another one here. And then I was thinking of cutting out some coffee cups from the Coffee Break Designer Series paper. So I'm just going to bring that out. So this is the one of the ones you can use here. So I'm thinking of cutting out by hand, but there is a framelit that goes with that. And it is this one over here. Oops. Here's the little coffee cup framelit. It'll cut that coffee cup as well as that coffee cup. So I'm just having a little think, and I think I will be cutting out some coffee cups. Okay, just to add just a little bit more colour. But I think that's really cute. So let's cut these out. So I'll just take out my Designer Series paper. And on the other side, we've got some coffee beans too. So this is a fantastic DSP pack. I'm not normally a big fan of DSP, but I quite like these. This is so cute. All right, so let's grab my scissors and I'll start cutting, I think. So I'm going to cut from this edge here. And that one there. Cut that off. And then I'll cut this edge one right over here. And there. I'm going to grab my Big Shot again. I'll see how it looks. I don't know, I'm just using this as a guide, you know, as an idea. And if it doesn't work out for this particular project, don't throw them out, because you can use them for another project. So here I'll just add my framelit over the top of that image, and hopefully that will cut it out roughly. Yeah, it leaves a border, so just letting you know. So we're going to cut out this one. Okay, that's one. And that cut it out just beautifully. Then there's this one. We may or may not use it. It's up to you how you want to decorate it. I'm just having an idea, and I'll see how it goes. Okay, and that cut out perfect as well. I love it. Alright, we'll get rid of the Big Shot now. Just get rid of that. Okay, we'll bring back our things here. Our little mini desk calendar, and there's no harm in adding colour to this. I think I'll just be using that one. I don't know, or without. It kind of all blends together because the colours are very similar, but I don't know. You can add these two. I think it looks good with those two as well. So let's just add them. So I'll just grab my glue and add that one there, and add that one there, and that's our calendar down there. Okay, so yeah, feel free to decorate as you see fit and as you wish. I don't know, I can't talk today. It's terrible. Okay, so I've got 2 coffee cups there, and here's your calendar. So we'll pretend that that's stuck down, and that's how it looks. So yeah, this makes a great little gift, no problems, and it sits on the desk quite nicely, and then it folds up and you can easily put that in an envelope and just yeah, send it off. If you want to know the dimensions of that once it's finished, and I'll do it in imperial first. So in imperial, you're looking at roughly 4 1/4. Yeah, it's about 4 1/4 inches by just the base. I'm not including that part. By 4 1/4 in the end. That's the general, just roughly 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So yeah, that's how it looks, and it stands up on your desk. So I hope you like it. If you have any questions or you have any requests for any particular project, let me know. But this would make a great gift for your workmates to have sitting on their desk at work, or even teacher gifts. These make great teacher gifts at the end of the year when we want to say thank you to all our teachers for their hard work with our kids, as an idea. So yeah, have fun, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this project, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye.